My name is Emil Stefanov, and I'm a freshman at UTD majoring in economics. So, hello everyone. Today I'm going to present you one of my games that was played in the Southwest Open 2018. It's round 6 against Kumar Nikhil, 22-68, and I'm with black pieces. So d4, d6. Before the game, I decided to just play something I've never played and just to improvise. And I saw one of the games my opponent here, he played c4, so I was already happy with that. So I just decided to go for it and not focus that much on the preparation. e5, knight f3, e4, knight g5, f5, knight c3, bishop e7, kicking the knight away, knight h3. c6, e3, knight f6, bishop to e2. This knight on h3 looks out of place, but it can always go back to f4. So white is actually is okay, and black is also okay. It doesn't have any weaknesses. Short castle, and now knight a6. We don't obviously want to develop the knight on b7 because from b7 it has no future, no active future. From a6 we can position it on c7 where it can support d5 movement of the pawn. White also develops bishop d2, knight c7. And now my opponent decided to play f3, which is a responsible move. I decided to take on f3, and from all the captures on f3, my opponent decided to take with the pawn, which seems optimistic. Probably with capturing with the bishop is a little bit better. The problem with capturing with the pawn is that white's king, it's kind of exposed right now, and for the future, you know, it might be dangerous, but for the moment, white is okay. I played d5, bishop e1. It's wishful thinking to play the bishop on g3 or h4, but you know that's never going to happen because I play bishop e6, threatening.
Why is it wishful thinking?
Well, because the bishop right now on d2, it's behind the pawn chain. So obviously, if you can make it play on g3 or h4, where it actually, you know, on g3 it has targets to attack, let's say the knight on c7. On h4 is also like pressuring this diagonal. Overall, this bishop, you want to exchange it most of the times. But after bishop e6, I'm attacking the c4 pawn, so he has to react. So first question, what would you play on knight g5? So, any suggestions?
C5.
No, c5 is...
Bishop c8. What is the disadvantage of capturing on f3 with the pawn? If white had just captured with the bishop, the structure wouldn't be so damaged.
f4.
Yeah. After f4, right now we're like if white ever recaptures, he takes f4. White's structure is just shattered, and all those weak pawns like f4 and d4, and even f3 is just a weak pawn, so they become automatic targets. So a line might continue. Let's say c takes d5, knight takes d5, knight takes e6, and it may seem that white has the two bishops, but again, we're pressuring e3 right now. e4 is never really possible. Just queen d7, and white's rook is really like white has to play rook f2, which prevents coordination from the pieces, and we just play rook f6, rook g6. Black is okay here, it's even better. The best white can do is just take and play e4. But even here with two bishops, there's not enough compensation. So black is just better here. Anyway, my opponent here decided to play knight f4, on which I played bishop f7, and the threat of d takes c4 is again.
I have a question.
Yes.
On f4, can you play e4?
On knight g5, f4, e4. Can I not just take that? Let's see. Let me see.
It's really destroyed the.
Maybe knight e4. Do you have
Knight
knight
e4.
And then knight c3? You might have that.
Yeah.
Search for
Yeah, maybe
himself.
just play bishop d7. Yeah, like
Then bishop g5.
just play bishop
Oh,
d7.
That.
And e5 is e5 is bad. So what are you doing with your pawn center?
That is bad.
Well, knight h5, just
Knight
attach
h5.
the knight basically.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, just where is the knight going anyway? Yeah, just white lacks coordination. Like this knight is not going anywhere. So anyway, back to the game. Knight f4, bishop f7, and now I thought my opponent was gonna play b3, but he decided to use the e5 square by playing knight d3. There's really nothing I can do so to prevent knight e5. So I just took the pawn on c4. I have to return it, but I decided to play b5 and return it this way. Knight takes c6, queen e8, knight e5, and now just all those exchanges of the pawns benefits black. In the game I played f4, but a little bit better is bishop d6, attacking the knight. And now it may seem as after f4, white is just stable, but after b4, the knight on c3 has no squares, but on b1, and returning the pieces with white pieces already tells you that black is doing okay. Just after knight a4, knight cd5 attacks e3, so he has to protect it, and rook c8. And let's say he tries to take that pawn with knight takes c4. Well, then there's tactics. So it works in black's favor. Right now there's a threat to take this bishop, and c4 knight is also on priest if this bishop moves. And well, knight e5 doesn't work because we take the bishop and with check, and then this knight hangs. So black is winning here. So yeah, really here, white should play knight b1, but well, black starts strategic game around e4 and d5 squares, and it was a little bit better than what happened in the game. After f4, obviously taking this pawn is bad, so my opponent played e4. It seems like his center is strong and all that, but again, the problem with knight on e5, like after bishop e6, the knight has no squares. Like you don't want to play it on g4, obviously. That's just gonna get exchanged, and f4 pawn is just strong. So here white is, white's position is a little bit more uncomfortable, and I liked my position here. He played king h1, rook d8, just putting pressure on d file. Bishop f2, bishop d6, and threat to take on e5. So queen c2 was played, and now I would really want to take on e5 and play knight d7, but the a7 pawn is hanging. So to prevent that, I just played a6. So here my opponent played rook g1, and I decided to take on e5 and play knight d7, attack the pawn on e5. There's only one real way to prevent me from taking it, which is bishop d4, and now queen h5 comes. And here I was kind of running low on time. I had like 10 or 15 minutes, and my opponent saw that and decided to play a not so good move, knight d5. So with which piece do you recapture on d5?
Bishop.
And after he takes d5? And let's say queen c3.
Knight d5.
Well,
Oh.
takes on e5. Yeah, that was the line I was afraid of, because after queen c3 it looks like all white pieces are targeting g7, with the rook. But after rook f8, there's just a simple threat to take on d5, and this, this was better. But in the game, I played knight takes d5 because I wanted to attack f3. But this obviously has some drawbacks. So white played e6, and now it's your turn again. What do you do with black?
Offer draw.
Knight e5.
95, yeah. During the game I was calculating 95, but what do you do on e7?
Bishop f3.
If I take?
Queen f3.
And if I play rook g2?
Just take d4.
Takes on f8? Yeah. So e7. Just pointing out, queen c3 doesn't work. Rook f5 prevents everything. E7 and rook g2. And here, there's a queen takes h7 move. And like
Draw. Rook d1.
yeah, when I saw queen takes h7 in this line, I didn't like it. Obviously, white gets counterattack, like g7 is threatened. Maybe there's some potential to perpetual check, maybe. So I didn't like it, and at the last moment, I prevented myself from playing 95, and I went for bishop takes f3. Bishop takes f3, queen takes f3. Now rook g2. On rook g2, we're just going to play knight f6, and the pawn is going to be protected on h7. And yeah. But here, white has an amazing defense, which it's a little bit unhuman, but here you take with the king. And yeah, so during my calculations, I missed this move. And here it's just, so black has an exchange in 3 pawns, but after rook a d1, this is an important move because once one pair of rooks are exchanged, the black knight is just not enough to support all the pawns. And here it's after rook d5. It is, my computer is evaluating zeros, so it's just white is able to hold, sadly, yeah. But like, hopefully my opponent quickly played rook takes g2, so it was all good. Knight f6, yeah. Yeah. After knight f6, black is winning. It's just some tricks we have to watch out. Obviously, do not take the bishop on d4, because rook takes g7, e7, like, there's counterattack, and probably the next rook is going to come back as well. So yeah, we don't want this. I played g6, the safer option, obviously. e7, rook takes d4. Well, if white takes the exchange, this is just lost. The inability to exchange this rook is fatal for white. The knight is just gonna rotate to e3, and a knight on the third rank is stronger than the rooks. So yeah, here black is just winning. My opponent tried rook takes g6, final attempt, but there's really nothing here. There's a forced line, and after this, if white was here to play, they may be okay, but after f3, threatening checkmate, h3 doesn't save, simply check, and we're queening. King g1 was played, and after rook d2, we want to take on b2 and just promote the c pawn. And white is just not in time. White is missing one tempo. Both h4 or a4, as happened in the game, are not enough. Just ignore that. Rook takes b2, and we'll just push c3. And there's nothing. After rook c6, we're just going to play c2, and we're going to try and promote the queen, obviously. So yeah, here just white resign here. So yeah, that's the game.